everybody, it is the end of February, so here I am again with another TBR video for you. So this is what I'm going to be reading in March. Firstly, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who checked out my first ever video, my February TBR. I had planned to post more in February, I'll admit, and I realise I haven't. So I'm hoping to really focus on this YouTube channel for my March month and hopefully bring you guys along a lot more on the journey with me. So once again, I have gone for a bit of an adventurous TBR. I'm taking part in 2 readathons this month. I'm taking part in the Mean Girls Readathon. I will post all of the links for these in the description. So the first one is the Mean Girls Readathon, and then the second one is the Spooktober mini readathon. And I'll go into a bit more detail about both those when I show you the books I am reading for those. Okay, so first up is the Mean Girls Miniathon. This is running throughout the whole of March, and there are 3 teams. You have Team Gretchen, Team Karen, and Team Regina, and each team has 4 book prompts. So I picked Team Karen just because the 4 prompts fitted with my books that I have and want to read more easily than the rest of them. So the 4 prompts for Team Karen were: on Wednesday we wear pink, so a pink book. It's October 3rd, so a spooky or thriller. Get In Loser, we're going shopping, so this is either a book that you recently bought or a brand new release. And also The Limit Does Not Exist, a book that's been on your TBR for ages. For this one, I tried to combine my books with books that I definitely need to read this month. So the first one, a pink book, I decided to make A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee my book. The reason I did this is because this is also the March book of the month for the Book Boyfriends book club. They're over on Instagram. It's a romance book club, and it's run by the lovely Rylannes, Maya, and Elle. So for It's October 3rd, a spooky or thriller book, I went with a thriller, and for this one I went with Kathy Reichs' Deja Dead. Now, the reason I picked this one, there's a few reasons. Earlier I mentioned that there's also a mini Spooktober readathon going on, hosted by Rylannes, and she is doing a mini readathon. This is happening obviously in March, and it's just for a week. There's 5 prompts. I'm only going to read one because I know with my own reading abilities that reading more than 1 book a week when it's a bigger book and not sort of an easy small book to read isn't very likely, so I'm just picking one. So because I'm doing Deja Dead for my thriller pick for the Mean Girls Marathon, I'm also making Deja Dead my pick for the read a thriller, horror or mysteries. This is kind of a thriller and a mystery book by a new to you author. So Kathy Reichs, a lot of people probably know who she is. She's a forensic anthropologist turned writer, and these are the books that the TV series Bones are set on. I actually went to Dundee University and studied forensic anthropology, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't slightly influenced by my choice by the TV series Bones. I can confirm it is nothing like the TV series. However, it is sort of one of the reasons I wanted to do the course in the first place. And I have never read the books. I've seen the entire TV series of Bones, but I've never read the books. Now, I know these are different. For example, the books are set in Quebec, whereas the TV series are set in Washington. They follow Dr. Temperance Brennan, that's the same in both. However, in the TV series, Her detective sidekick is FBI Special Agent Celie Booth, whereas in the books they are Detective Claudel. But I love the fact that it's a book series with forensic anthropology at its core, which obviously is something I studied. I'm hoping I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm hoping I'm really going to grip onto the story. The mini Spooktober Readathon is running from the 22nd to the 27th of March. So I will be reading this later on in the month within that week. And if you guys want to check out either of the readathons, I'm going to link them all in the description. The next prompt for the Mean Girls readathon is a recently bought or new release book. So I went for recently bought because I literally just downloaded this the other day. It is a Kindle book and it is called Pucked Up by Helena Hunting. This is technically the second book in a series, however each book can be read as a standalone. I read the first one in February, but I really liked the style of writing. I loved the story. It follows an ice hockey team in Chicago. I'm not a huge ice hockey fan, but I do quite like the sport. I've seen a few games, so that's kind of interesting, and they are good steamy romances. So for anyone who maybe is interested in a sport romance, this might be a series for you. And then lastly, for the Mean Girls readathon, the Forever on My TBR pick, I decided to do The Book Thief. So for anyone who saw my February TBR video, this was one of the books I'd hoped to get to February after I had read all the books I needed to, and I didn't get to it. Now that it's part of the readathon, it means I will actually get to it this month because these 4 books are my top priority. So I am actually excited to get to this one now. And now I'm just going to take you through the rest of my TBR. So there's a few other books that are definites for me to get to. If you checked out my February TBR video, you'll see that I am buddy reading the Mortal Instruments series with my friend Stasia, Readers C. She has never read the Mortal Instruments series, but I have, so I decided to reread them because I haven't read them in a very, very long time, but they're super easy for me to read because I've read them. I think I've definitely read all of them except the last book at least twice, and I've also seen the movie and the TV show, so I really know what's happening. I stuck the audiobook on for the first one and it took me a day to read, so this one hopefully will be just as easy. This again is a priority for me because in April obviously we'll move on to the 3rd book, City of Glass. Okay, then the next book that I know I'm definitely going to get to and finish is Maggie Stifaters' The Raven King. This is the 4th and final book in the Raven Boys series. I have been buddy reading this series since the end of last year with my friend over on Instagram, Burns Reads Books, and this is the last book in the series, so I'm hoping we're going to get this done in 4 installments so that by the end of March we'll be finished the series. So far the books have been really, really good. They've all been between 3.5 and 4 stars. So I'm hoping this one will finally be the 5-star I'm after because it's the final concluding book. I can't really tell you much about this book without giving away the rest of the other ones, but it is fantasy based. It's very light fantasy and I find it really easy. It's definitely a series I would recommend. And the last book I have that I know I'm definitely going to get to is my 3rd book club. It is just a group of 6 of us who want to read some dark romances. So this month we are reading Crescendo by Lana, Skye. This was recommended by one of the girls in the group. She has already read it, but she really loved it. She's willing to read it again. We have been told this is a dark romance book, like really on the dark side. So we're all quite excited to go into that. My reviews in general always contain trigger warnings if there's any applicable. However, my dark reads books definitely do. So if you're ever interested in reading a book but you're not entirely sure if there's going to be something in it that you're uncomfortable with, please check out my reviews on my Goodreads, which is linked down below in the description. or on my Instagram if you ever want to see the trigger warnings before you get into a book. And then the rest of the books I have are all hopefuls that I want to get to, but I'm not necessarily going to beat myself up if I don't get to them. There's 5 of them, so it's a bit optimistic, but 3 of them are super short. So the first one is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Anyone who watched my February TBR, this was one of my hopefuls for February, and I didn't get to it. In hindsight, having my most ambitious TBR in the shortest month of the year probably wasn't the best idea. I'm not surprised that I had 3 books left over. However, this is a short one. I've downloaded it on Audible as well, so I'm hoping I can stick it on the Audible, just listen to it sort of in one afternoon. The other book I'm hoping to get to is again one from February that I just did not have time to get to in the short month, and that is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Again, this is a book that came out last year. It's been very hyped. A lot of people probably know what it's about already. But when a person of colour, Amira, is accused of kidnapping the white child that she is actually babysitting in a supermarket, it's about the chain of events that happen after she is accused of this kidnapping. Basically, any books that I don't get to this month, if they're physical off my shelf, I will always try and read them the next month, because mainly I don't want to have to try and cram them back onto my very full shelves. So I always leave them out, and I'm always hoping to get to them the following month. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. Like I say though, I am hoping to get to them. Obviously March is a bit of a longer month. I'm really getting into the groove of things and reading for a lot of hours in the day now. I'm also hoping this month to read at least 100 pages every day. That's my aim for the month. And I want to do, one of my sort of New Year's resolutions was to do things that make me happy. And at the moment, hanging out with my friends on Zoom or on Discord servers and doing reading sprints is making me really happy. So I want to keep doing that. I've got 3 more books that I'm hoping to get to. One of them is super tiny and there's no way I won't get it done in about 2 hours. And that is Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is the book, this is one of the fast reads that the World Book Day does every single year. Last year I read the Notting Hill Carnival West Side Story, which was by Candice Carty-Williams, the same author who did the book Queenie. I read that one, that was a quick fast read. So this is Holly Jackson, obviously the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Good Girl, Bad Blood were the top 2 books I read last year, and I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out later this year. I think it's coming out in August. I have already got it pre-ordered. So this one is a prequel, but it's not a prequel in the sense that you can't read this unless you've read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It is a 1920s themed murder mystery party. So obviously this is kind of, it's meant to be where it all began, where Pip found her love of solving murders. So I'm gonna read that because I love Holly Jackson and I think she's a genius, and I love the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So there's that. And then lastly, I have 2 books that I want to try and get to. Red, White and Royal Blue. This is a gay romance book. Came out in 2019, but it was all the rage last year. Everyone on Instagram and Bookstagram were reading this book, but a few of my friends are sort of buddy reading this month, so again, hoping to get to it. I am really looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it since I first saw it. So that is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. And lastly, I swear this is the last one, Deep Woods by Helena Newbury. Helena Newbury is an author for me who is an instant buy. This is because I originally read Helena Newbury maybe 3 years ago now, and she does steamy new adult romances. The first one I ever read featured Mafia Boss, which I love as a trope, and I've just basically bought every book she's done since, and this is the newest standalone The only thing I really know about it is that you've got a ruggishly handsome man secluded in a forest. He's a bit of a recluse, and he has a dog, because there's a dog on the cover, and I'm here for the dog. And obviously there's going to be a romance because it's a Helena Newbury book. There's probably going to be an aspect of danger because it's a Helena Newbury book, and I'm excited. This is the type of book that, again, I can read in a day or two if I just sit down and read it, because they are well written in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Bought it on Kindle as soon as it came out. It came out in January, so it's one I'm going to get to, I think, this month, just because I really want to read it. And at the end of the day, although I set this TBR, and some of you may be thinking, Ellie, you didn't read 3 of the books on your TBR last month, so why are they not a priority? As much as I like setting a TBR, especially if I'm doing a readathon, or if I'm setting my books of the month from my book clubs, I am also quite a bit of a mood reader. So for me, my TBR, I set it, but it's not set in stone by any means, and it's just a guide. Apart from the books that I know this is a priority, this is like a book of the month or a buddy read, the rest are ones I'm hoping I'll be in the mood for because I want to read them. But if I'm not, that's okay. And if something else takes my fancy, it doesn't bother me. As long as I'm enjoying my reading, that's what's important to me. So that is all of my books. There's 12 books there. Realistically, I probably know I won't get to them all, but I am hoping to at least get to, I'll say, 8 of them. I'm going to set my target as 8. That's 2 a week, which is doable because some of these are super short books. As always, thank you so much for listening up until now. Please feel free to give this video a like, comment, let me know if you've read any of these books or if any of them have ended up on your TBRs this month. Let me know what you're reading this month, and if you'd like to see future videos, please hit that subscribe button. All of the people I've mentioned in this video and all of the pages will be linked down below, and I hope you have a fantastic morning, day or night, no matter what time zone you're in, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!